Hey, everybody. Joe and I wanted to update you on our adoption progress. We thought we'd make a video, not quite sure why, but I think it's Joe's love language. And also, we've been planning to make this really awesome video letting you know that Maylee was ours, that the roadblock had been blasted through, and we were headed towards the home stretch. But that's not where we find ourselves today. As many of you know, we have been in the process of adopting a little girl from China. And things were moving along smoothly. They've taken a few years, but they were moving along. And in December, we were matched with our little girl, and we thought that it was the beginning of the end, and we would be seeing her this summer. And in February, we got some news that China was not so excited about some of the information that was in our home study. And really, this was the very last sign off. It was the very last okay that we needed to move on. And it all has to do with Joe and his teenage years, stuff that happened 21 years ago. It's nothing big. You would
25 years ago.
I didn't want to have to edit this. Okay, 25 years ago. Got it. Sorry. Anyway, typical teenage stuff, and China was not excited about it. And so they allowed us to submit some letters in response to let them know what kind of person that Joe is today. And you would not believe these letters that we submitted. Just unbelievable reports of who Joe is today from his current boss, from an old boss, from our pastor, from our adoption agency, and his parents. They were just really beautiful. We got word today, however, that that was not enough for China. The exact words we were told is that China cannot say yes to this adoption. And my heart sank, if I'm honest, because they were really definitive words. But in that, I also heard they have not said no. But they won't tell us what they want from us in order to make a yes or no decision. And so we're kind of stuck in this in-between space where we need a response. And so what we'd love to ask for you is to continue on this journey with us. There's this incredibly beautiful story in the Bible of these people, these friends, who had a paralyzed friend who needed Jesus' help, who needed to be healed by Jesus. And they wanted to take him to see Jesus. And so they carry him on a mat to see Jesus, but they get to the house where Jesus is, and the house is packed to the gills. In fact, it's not just packed on the inside, just the outside of the house is just full of people, and they just cannot get this man in front of Jesus where he needs to be, to be healed. And so the friends climb to the top of the roof carrying a man laying on a mat, a full-grown adult male. And they get to the roof of this house, and they tear a hole in the roof of the house, and they lower him down to the floor where Jesus is. Now, this story is told in 3 of the Gospels, and it's told a little differently in all 3 Gospels. The story is the same, but the words are a little different in all 3. But in each of the 3 versions, one specific verse is said exactly the same way. 3 words. And it's this: seeing their faith. Jesus said to the paralyzed man, "My child, your sins are forgiven." Seeing their faith. These friends that loved and carried this man to Jesus had as much to do with this man being healed as anything else. Seeing their faith. And when I was reading this a few weeks ago, it hit me like a bolt of lightning because I've never paid attention to that part of the story before. Not once have I ever seen those words pop out. And I said to a group that we meet with every week, I said, guys, little Maylee's journey is riding on the coattails of your faith. And we have felt you all respond. Every single person who has prayed for us, who has lifted us up, we've felt that surrounding us. And I believe with all of my heart, the reason why we don't have a no, even though we don't have a yes, is because of your faith. So we'd ask you now to continue to carry us with your faith. But the person who is on your stretcher, who's on that mat, is not me, it's not Joe, it's not our boys. It's little Maylee. in our journey together. Please continue to lift us up in prayer because it's not over yet. And I believe that prayers matter. I believe that God hears us. I believe that God has heard every single one of your prayers for us and for our daughter. And I thank you for them. And I thank you for the prayers that are going to continue to come because I believe that He hears them. So, would you continue to pray with us? Would you share this message so that others would continue to pray? Joe said something the other day that I loved, which is, let's make a Maylee story a trending hashtag in heaven. Will you do that with us? Because I know that as Jesus and God sees your faith, He will answer our prayers.